Hey everyone, so today I am going to be talking about getting, well, the flip, or whether TST ultimately has a better solution already. So I imagine that most of you have already got rid of this. Usually the first part that comes off any bike, if it is not the stock exhaust, then it's the stock tail. And even though this isn't the most hideous one I've had on a bike before, it's so simple to change just with that plate that there's no reason really to keep it unless you like it. So I changed pretty quickly for the TST version. Obviously my plate's on backwards before anybody gets a little bit confused there. I'm not generally in the habit of advertising my plate. So TST fits on through the plate underneath here, dead easy. If you go for the TST lights too, incredibly simple fit, great product as well, but that's another story for another day. It does have the number plate light on it. It does fix with the Allen keys there, the hex bolts, but if left just a little bit loose, you can fold it up. Not a perfect solution, but pretty good. Dead easy to reach back and fold back down as well. Obviously not for use on the road, but when you stop, when people are taking lots of photos of your bike, which they often do, easy option. So I'm going to whip this off and pretty much fit the flip and dip and see what the difference is. As I say, real easy. It will eventually get loose though, so it does need to be tightened up every so often. So give you a different angle as well. It's nice though. Those of you who've certainly ridden behind me, it's not obnoxious or taking the mickey completely, but obviously that's not why we have it. Cool. Anyway, let's get on to the flip and dip. So flip and dip, what's in the box? Basically, not a lot, but then I like simple. A little bit of stickers and goodies. Literally 2 bolts, 2 washers, replacement plate, and the adjustable bracket. That's it. As I say, I like simple. This could work well. So here's your bracket, basically all set up on the face plate there. Super simple. Only thing I would say would be great is if these bolts, or at least the washers, were anodized black, but you know, it is what it is. Now, it might be me, so I'm going to need to double check this, but there's a big gap there and it overlaps there where it doesn't sit flush. So I'm going to whip it off again, have another crack. So ultimately it wasn't me. This is not a great fit, if I'm honest. There is, if I push it all the way down, maybe 4 to 5 mil space. If I push it all the way up, I can't even close that gap, and there's 3-4 mil space at the bottom too. So ultimately my journey with flip and dip ends here, but I will fit it so that you can see what it does look like when it's on. But if we just look at the gap around and then compare that with the TST fit, the TST fit is exact. There are no gaps. So yeah, the TST will be going back on, but I will complete this so at least we can see what they look like from the side. So we're all on, but obviously the holes for my number plate are different, so I can't put both on, typical. But this isn't staying on, so I can't say I'm that worried. It's pretty cool. And then obviously the flip, actually at a better position than the TST, as in properly flipped when it's under, but I'm genuinely disappointed at these gaps. And like I say, that's definitely a no from me. So the TST is going back on. Before I whip this off though, it is genuinely well made in this bit, and this rotational part here for the actual flip, you know, that's not going to get loose like the hex bolts on the TST, where you know, over time, it's a sealed little unit there, which is great. And the bracket itself is good and strong and high quality, but I just can't get over this fit here. It's that's not going to work for me. I don't know what the fit is like on other bikes, other models, but certainly on the S1000RR. I don't know, depends how picky you are, I guess, but for me it's a no. Obviously we're sacrificing the number plate light as well. I know that Flip and Dip do a number plate light. Not entirely sure how it will fit, but you know, the TST is literally through a very small hole here, so it would certainly fit behind in that gap there that comes up. So definitely doable, and I know they do it, but it's not something I'm going to be investigating. Anyway, going to whip this off. And the TST unit is going back on. Forgive the fact the bike is filthy. Breakfast run this morning in the rain. It gets used in the rain. It's as simple as that, really. So with the TST unit, the number plate light is there, and we're just real simple cable backup out the way. And that, look at that, there's basically very, very little movement there. It's a perfect fit, as perfect as it can be, really. And then two discrete little countersunk bolts. No faffing around with washers or moving the bracket so that the spaces all line up correctly. Yeah, I'm not trying to put Flip and Dip down. It's a great concept, I love it. But in terms of the quality and just the immediate fit, this TST is head and shoulders above. So yeah, I'm going to keep running it as I run it, and send the Flip and Dip back. Not a lot more I can say there, really. But anyway, hopefully you found this useful, and if you want to know more about the TST stuff, it's not like I've got an affiliate code or anything for them. I may do in the future, but it is great stuff and I'm a big fan. There we go, TST's back on. As I say, I think the angle here is probably more kind of natural. The flip and dip didn't go that far, but I know you can reverse it, so it would do. And then this position, again, not properly flipped, as in it's still readable to a degree, but at least there's some effort to sort of cover the plate if it's parked up at a bike show or bike meet. Yeah, so as I say, genuinely disappointed there with the fit of the flip and dip. TST just much better. I will be probably taking these rear ends off at some point, so I will show you how simple and quality fit the TST lights are as well. You probably already wear them anyway, but yeah, dead easy. And obviously the number plate lights here too. Hope you found that useful. I say fire me a message or leave a comment if you want to know any more about TST or the flip and dip experience. Also, be interested to know if this is just a BMW thing or whether the fit is better on other bikes. I know a few friends who run these plates and they've not told me, they've not told me it's a really poor fit. So maybe it's just the Beamer. I don't know. Anyway, have a great day.